What's up, world? Welcome back to another tutorial. Today we're going to be discussing MTL vertex descriptors and how to describe your vertex. What does that mean? That means that we want Swift and Metal to both understand what a vertex is. That way we don't need to pass in an array of vertices and call vertex ID. And we're going to we're going to be cleaning up code and making it look a little bit prettier. So hold on to your butts. Let's go. So back in our code, we have a vertex descriptor right here with a position and a color of float 3 and float 4. Okay, so we know that we have a vertex that will have these certain attributes associated with them. And in our metal shaders file, we have the same thing going for it right here, except we're using an array of vertices. We're passing in an array of vertices. For our case, we actually don't want to do that. You could do per pixel, which is what this is when you're passing in this pointer to vertices. This is per pixel shading, but we want to do per vertex shading. So we're going to describe this vertex, and instead of passing in a vertex array, we're going to just pass in one vertex for every pass through the vertex shader. So back in our game view down here where we're creating the render pipeline state, let's create a vertex descriptor that we can set for our render pipeline state. Okay, so I created the basic object of a vertex descriptor. Now I'm going to set the render pipeline descriptors vertex descriptor to this vertex descriptor. Okay, so we have this basic vertex descriptor, and if I run this, everything will still run just fine because we're not actually passing in per vertex yet. But what we do want to do is we want to say what each attribute on the vertex descriptor means. So the first attribute will be represented by the position. Okay, so the 0th indexed attribute will be position. And back in my shaders file, I'm going to apply an attribute tag to each one of these. So down at the vertex descriptor, let's set values for the first attribute. Okay, so I've created the vertex descriptors attributes right here. The first attribute, okay, let's start with this index. What does this mean? So attributes at 0. Back in my shaders.metal, I'm going to add some tags on here to make this seem a little clearer. So when I say attributes at 0 in the game view, I really mean position with the tag of attribute at 0. So when the pipeline state sends it to the GPU, this can describe the position at attribute 0. And I can do the same for color, except color won't be attribute 0, it will be attribute at 1. So it's kind of just an indexing of which position they're inside of this struct. So attribute 0, attribute 1. Back in the game view, we're setting attribute 0 to have these properties. Buffer index, so the next one's going to be buffer index at 0. The index buffer, well, when we pass it in, is going to be 0, right? If we wanted to pass in other vertex or buffer information, we'd use buffer at 1, buffer at 2, buffer at 3. But we're not doing that. We're just using buffer at 0. So this buffer index corresponds to that number. The offset is where exactly it is inside of the struct. So in our case, position is 0, we don't have any offset, and then float 4 will have the offset of float 3 because really we're just passing it in sort of like so, right? We're saying position then color, so we need to push in an offset of float 3, and then if we put something else back here, we would want it to be an offset of float 4 plus float 3. So we're just setting the offset to where exactly in space this value is. So I'm going to create the second vertex descriptor attribute of color right now. Okay, so now that we've set our position and our color, and in my color you see I have float 4 because that's what our color is. It's a float 4, I hope you got that. And now the offset, the only difference really is that the offset is going to be float 3 because it comes after our position. And then I'm just going to write one more line, and I'll talk about that in just a second. Okay, so the layout is going to be how the pipeline state describes our entire thing. So we have the individual position in color, but it needs to know exactly the stride of which it's going to be cover. So our stride in this case would be float 3 and float 4, but we can simply use the stride of vertex to describe that. Now that we've set our render pipeline state right here to the vertex descriptor, there's nothing else we need to do on our Swift file. Let's jump into the myshaders.metal. Now we've already set the attribute at 0 and the attribute at 1 for our vertex in. And we don't, and like I said, we're not doing per pixel, we're doing per vertex, right? And so I don't need to take an array of vertices, I just need vertex in, but I used to say just v in. I'm gonna keep it that way. This will no longer be device, it will be const. And buffer at 0 will no longer be buffer at 0, it will be stage in. Since it knows what's coming, like just like when it comes out of the vertex shader, it goes from the vertex shader to the rasterizer. Rasterizer does some stuff and then comes back as that data. It already can describe that data because it knows how it went in and how it's coming out. So we're doing the same thing. We know what it looks like. We know the size of these attributes, their byte size, and so we can use them. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. So now we don't need this vertex ID because really we're not passing an array of vertices, and boom. The only thing else that we need to change is the vertices at vertex ID.position. We don't need that anymore. We can just say vin.position, and we can say vin.color. Now, if I go ahead and run this, I shouldn't get any errors. Cross your fingers, and we should still see our same beautiful color triangle. So there it is in all its glory again. Let's do some other more fun stuff and talk a little bit about extensions. We keep reusing this memory layout of vertex.stride. This is built in, and it's kind of like size of, obviously. And I don't want to keep reusing memory layout of float3.size. I want to call float3.size. I think it'd be easier if that had, a property assigned to it. And so I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to create a new file called types. And inside of this file, first thing I'm going to do is import SIMD. Now, SIMD is a very optimized math library that Metal uses. So when we import MetalKit, it automatically has SIMD. But since I don't need MetalKit as of yet, maybe I'll need it in the future. I don't need it yet. We're just going to import SIMD. We don't want the entire MetalKit library on this file. So inside of our types, I'm just going to copy some code that I have over here, and we'll use it. I don't think it's worth typing all this out again. But I've created a protocol called sizable. Now this sizable will have the size and the stride of our primitive that we're using. So we can use this on our own object as well. Now that we have this laid out, we have a sizable. We can return our size, and you see we use memory layout of capital self.size in each one of these. And in this one, you can pass in how many of these selfs or objects that you want. I can go down here and go extension, let's say vertex as a sizable, right? And in fact, I'm gonna go back to game view, and I'm gonna take my vertex and I'm gonna throw it over here. Instead of doing an extension, I can just add it as so inside here, instead of going struct vertex with an extension, we'll just go vertex is a sizable object. So now back in our game view, I can call instead of calling memory layout of vertex.stride, I can just go vertex.stride. And it knows that it's the memory layout of a vertex. And just like up here with the float3, I do .size. Well, let's just extend on our vertex, or on our float3. So we will go extension float3, and I'll make it a sizable. And then there's nothing going to be done inside this float3 yet, but we can still use it with the sizable. Now, instead of calling memory layout of float3.size, I can just call float3.size. and delete that. So it looks a little cleaner. It's easier to call. There's one other place that I use it, and that's when I'm setting the buffers right here. So instead of doing memory layout of vertex.stride, I can just say vertex.stride and then pass in the number of them right like so. So it's easier to read. It's beautiful. All right. So when I press play right here, everything should work exactly the same, except now it's just a little bit more condensed. And there you go. There is our attractive triangle. Thanks for watching. I know that one was kind of short and to the point, but needed to be done. Thanks for watching.